Hi, this is Jack Agostino, head coach for the Amityville Tides, and you are watching Tide Basketball on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
Welcome to the Amityville Tide Basketball pregame show on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
And a good Saturday morning, and welcome to the Fred Williams Memorial Gymnasium as we get set to bring you Amityville boys basketball right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. I'm Matt Grice. I'm joined by Catherine Martinez. Melissa Santos will join us on the sidelines this morning as well. But we have an exciting matchup as the Amityville Tide gets set to take on the Rocky Point Eagles. Amityville comes into this game with a 5-5 record overall, coming off a loss against Mount Sinai. They are 5-2 in League 5 play. Meanwhile, Rocky Point, they are 4-6 overall, and they are 2-3 in league play. Catherine, good morning. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I am doing all right. It should be a fun morning for basketball. Nobody looks sleepy today. Everybody's awake and ready to go as the crowd continues to file in. We're about 13 minutes away from tip-off, but let's get right into it. So, on Thursday, Amityville hosts Mount Sinai, a team that hadn't lost a league game in 2 years, a team that was the Class A champions in Long Island last year and beat Amityville last year. But Amityville expected a good game, and that's exactly what we were treated to on Thursday night.
Yeah, AV played on Thursday with a score of 61-57. It was such a close game with their best player on the talent line being Rashall, score 6, Flying scoring 9, and Dawson scoring 10. And it was such a good game. So many accidents, but they still locked in at the end.
Yeah, it was exciting. The game started off well for Amityville, 2 quick points, but then Mount Sinai goes on a run to take an early lead. They end up coming out in front 19-12 after the first quarter. Pretty even in the second quarter, pretty even in the third quarter. And the fourth quarter is where Amityville made their comeback, led by Cameron Alford, a big three-pointer from the corner to tie the game up late. And then Alan Dotson-Isabel was able to, off a turnover, sprint down the court and give Amityville their first lead, but it wasn't meant to last. 51-51 with the game tied. Brian Bales, who had 27 points, as you mentioned, for Mount Sinai, put a shot back with a fresh shot clock, or what should have been a fresh shot clock, but the official had called a shot clock violation. The basket was waved off. Amityville had some life. The game ends up going into overtime, but ultimately they fell a little bit short.
Yeah. We hope that Hamptons Bay also played Rocky Point on Thursday with the score 58-75. Their top performers being Heiru with 17 points, Butcher with 12, and Risson with a shot of 26. And hope that today Rocky Point sees with Amityville.
That is the opponent. We are going to break that one down a little further in just a bit. We'll hear from Coach Agostino beforehand of the Amityville Tide to see what his thoughts were on this Mount Sinai game, plus the Rocky Point game that you just mentioned. Amityville ends up falling 61-57. You mentioned some of the key players for both teams. Amir Dickerson, key for Amityville, one of the top scorers in Suffolk County. He went against Brian Bales, another top scorer in Suffolk County. Bales came out a little bit ahead along with Mount Sinai, but I want to make note that there are some similar vibes to the game on Thursday and the rivalry that Amityville had against Wyandanch last year, where Wyandanch was the top team in their league. Amityville ended up losing 2 heartbreaking regular season games to Wyandanch. Then the playoffs came. Amityville went on the road to Wyandanch and was able to get a victory when it mattered most. So I am sure that's what Coach Agostino was reminding his players of, that, hey, we may have come up short and been heartbroken in that loss versus Mount Sinai, but we're going to have another shot to go after them when it really matters.
Right. and how there's one that's not here. Hopefully that it doesn't change the teams or anything, and hope today's a good game.
So again, thank you for spending your Saturday morning with us here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. We're about 9 minutes away from tip-off between the Amityville Tide and the Rocky Point Eagles. But right now, why don't we check in with head coach Jack Agostino on our coaches show when our very own Melissa Santos had a chance to speak with him just a few minutes ago.
So we're here with Coach Agostino. So in your last game, Mount St. gained close tie game, but you come up short. How quickly do you forget about that one to be ready for this one?
Well, we have no choice, right? It's 10 o'clock in the morning. We had a good practice yesterday, watched some film on the mistakes we made. Hopefully we correct them, and we'll be ready to go.
Thank you. Cameron Alford, who is new to the team this year, is showing you how to clutch. He can be with 4 points, including a huge game-tying three-pointer. What has his impact meant for his team, for your team?
Well, that's the one thing you hit it right on the nail on the head. He can shoot the ball. So if he makes shots for us, we're really, really good. He's got to be a little stronger defensively, but otherwise he's really been a great addition to the team.
Thank you. Last year, Rocky Point beat you at home, costing you a home playoff. What lessons has your team learned from that as you're set to play them today?
Well, I wish you didn't remind me of that, but yes, they did beat us here. It was a really tough schedule for us at the end of the year last year. I think no matter what, we're going to be motivated to play. So even when we make the playoffs, home or away, it doesn't matter. We proved that last year. We won 3 road games in the playoffs and won the Suffolk County Championship. So home court means a lot, but it doesn't matter to this team. They'll play well wherever they play.
At this point of the season, what is one thing your team does very well and one thing your team needs to improve of?
Well, I can think of the things that we have to improve on a lot. We have to get better off-the-ball defense. That's really important to us. We have to be able to, a very simple concept, see your man and the ball. Sometimes we just hug our man and don't worry about where the ball is. So that's one thing we really have to do. And we need to rebound better. Those are 2 keys to our team. What I see is the thing that we're getting better at is we're playing together and playing more unselfishly. And if we do that, we'll be very good.
Thank you. What are your keys for today's game?
Well, I keep mentioning it is off-the-ball defense, being able to help your teammates when somebody drives to the basket, and then rebound the ball. If we rebound the ball, we can run. We run, we get fast break points, makes the game much easier for us.
Thank you.
You got it.
And thank you to Coach Agostino for giving us some insight in today's game, and we'll break down what he had to say a little further in just a moment. But right now, we are going to recheck in with Melissa Santos on the sideline, who has another report for us.
Good morning. As JJ Washington, who is new to the team, has showed excellent performance but is out sick today, in which Julian Nelson has been moved up from the JV team, as he is willing to show that he is able to help the varsity team. Back to you.
Thanks, Melissa. Great job. And yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that impacts the outcome of this game. Julian Nelson, a bigger kid, he's going to have some big shoes to fill with Washington being sick down low. Amityville, Coach Agostino just mentioned it, they need to get better at rebounding. So that's going to be a key to look at today. But let's get into this game today against Rocky Point. And again, thank you for spending your Saturday morning. This is the Amityville Broadcasting Network, and tip-off is coming up in just a little bit. Rocky Point coming off a win against Hampton Bays, a team that Amityville defeated by scoring over 100 points about a week ago. But Rocky Point has to be feeling good about their latest victory.
They've been feeling really good with their new people, with their best players being there. For an example, like their best player being Mal Reiniser, who shot 26 points, and Haydu with 17, and Buller with 12, making them win their overall game.
Yeah, a good scoring, balanced attack. But you have to wonder, again, nothing against Hampton Bays, but they're in a rebuilding mode right now. We saw what Amityville did to them. Are Rocky Point's top players going to be able to have the same success against Amityville, which is clearly a better team. But that's something they're going to have to watch out for. Rocky Point, very good from beyond the arc also. You mentioned Reisinger. Reisinger had 3 3-pointers. Bueller with 3 3-pointers. Fernandez with 3 3-pointers in that game. So this is a team that likes to shoot from beyond the arc, and we'll have to see how the guards guard them today. Let's get into last year's matchup between Amityville and Rocky Point. It was actually Amityville's last game of the regular season at home, and a win in that game would have given them a home playoff game. It was a game that Amityville expected to win, and when it was all said and done, Rocky Point walked away with the victory.
Yeah, it was such a close game with Amir Dickerson scoring 18 points, Ala Donaldson scoring 9, and their best player on Rocky Point was Portes with 15, Sanchez with 8, and then Mick Wignell with 7.
For Rocky Point last year, and again, this was a huge upset, 57-54, Rocky Point slipped past Amityville right here at home on their home court. The starters that made the biggest impact in that game for Rocky Point, they're all gone. Amir Dickerson still here, Alan Dotson-Isabel still here, Wesley Flight still here. They have some reinforcements. Cameron Alford, we've seen what he can do as a pure shooter. So it will be interesting to see how the dynamic changes between last year's game and this year's game. But that one definitely left a bad taste in the mouth of the Tide, the Warriors then last year at that point. But Coach Agostino mentioned it in his coach's show when Melissa had asked him, is that something that really stuck with you as a negative? Amityville went on the road for 3 playoff games last year and won all 3 of them. So clearly, this team doesn't worry too much about if they're playing home or away. They just show up and play each time.
Right, and hope that today's game will show off that if no matter, the same people can always be like the new people no matter what, and it could be a different game and make maybe a rebound from last year's game.
So a light crowd on hand this morning. I guess the fan base sleeping in. Hopefully you guys are tuned in right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. We want to remind you that we will also have coverage of Tuesday's game at home against Wyandanch as the rivalry continues. We will go on the air live at 4:15 with the pregame show, and tip-off will be at 4:30. But this morning's game against the Rocky Point Eagles, that's getting underway in just a couple of minutes. Catherine, what are your keys for Amityville today?
My keys are to see how today's game from last year and this year will change. If it will become better than last year and AV gets their points back from what it was robbed from last year, or if Rocky Points will still continue to become still on top.
Well, it should be a lot of fun. We have tip-off coming up in just a few minutes. Thank you so much for tuning in to the pregame show. But it's going to be the Amityville Tide and the Rocky Point Eagles next, right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
They said cigarettes were safe. We know how that turned out. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens? Fact, more than 1 in 4 high school students are vaping, and 80% say their first e-cigarette was flavored. Vaping is harmful to developing brains. The reason we think vaping is safe? Marketing. Same lies, different day. Tell Big Vape to quit lying.
Good Saturday morning as the Amityville Tide gets set to host the Rocky Point Eagles. Last year, the Eagles came in to Amityville with a huge upset, taking away the opportunity for the Tide to have a home playoff game. Can the Eagles come back and soar away again, or will the wave crash down and get Amityville the victory? Find out right now on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
I'm out for it, shooting guard for the Amityville Tide, and you're watching Tide basketball on the Amityville Tide Broadcasting Network.
The wait is over. It's time for the opening tip. Amityville Tide basketball starts now on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
And once again, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. We are set for tip-off between the Amityville Tide and the Rocky Point Eagles. Amityville comes in 5-5 overall, 5-2 in League 5 play. They are coached by Jack Agostino, assistant coach A.J. Price. And for the Eagles, they come in 4-6 overall and a 2-3 League 5 record. They are coached by Jim Jordan. Let's get into the starting lineups. Cougar Bueller, Don Wilkinson, Peyton Reisinger, John Nadeau, and Aiden Tadaro will be starting for the Eagles. And for the Amityville Tide, Alan Dotson Isabel, Wesley Flythe, Cameron Alford, Jeremiah Rasdell, and Amir Dickerson, the same starting five that we saw on Thursday in Amityville's loss to Mount Sinai. At this point in time, we are going to send it over to our national anthem. And we are all set for tip-off here at the Fred Williams Memorial Gymnasium. Eagles fresh off a victory versus Hampton Bays, and the Tide trying to avenge Thursday's heartbreaking overtime loss. Teams both retreat to their respective huddles as they get their final instructions from the coaching staff, and we will be all set to go. These league games more and more important as the season gets deeper and deeper, but one of the things that we tend to see, which with Coach Jack Agostino's teams, is as the season progresses, they get better and better. And there are some new faces for Amityville this year, and it takes some time to gel. One of those players that we want to feature, Cameron Alford, first-year junior here in Amityville, a dangerous shooter, a huge three-pointer to tie the game against Mount Sinai on Thursday in their overtime loss. Agostino would like to see him a little stronger defensively, but he is out there and playing an important role, and he'll be joined by Dotson Isabel, Rosdell, Dickerson, and Flythe as we get set to go. Dickerson will be jumping against Wilkinson, and the opening tip goes to the Eagles. Nadeau has it. Over to Wilkinson. Wilkinson bounce pass in the paint, driving up and in. Nadeau getting on the board for the Eagles first. 2-0 opening 10 seconds of the game. Dotson Isabel has it, bottom of the circle. Gets it over to Alfred. Alfred left wing, floats a pass to Flythe. Three-pointer, Dotson Isabel, too strong. Flythe rebound. Cross-court pass, Isabel fakes right, free throw line shot. That jumper won't go. Rebound bounces out to Dotson Isabel, who gets it to Dickerson. Dickerson's first touch of the game, and he draws a whistle. And they're going to call a reach in here, and that foul will be on Cougar Bueller as Dotson Isabel gets set to inbound just to the right of us here on press row. It's Dickerson. Dickerson guarded by Todaro. Dickerson has it tipped away, loose ball, and Todaro is able to come down with it. Todaro breaking fast, looking around for help. Ball picked away by Alford, and the Tide coming back the other way. It's Dickerson. Dickerson up with the layup, rolls around the rim and in, and the foul. And that will send Dickerson to the charity stripe for a chance to complete the 2-point play. Dickerson, one of the leading scorers in Suffolk County, currently ranked number 4, has been averaging 22.4 points a game as he converts on the free throw to complete the 3-point play. 3-2, Amityville in front early, opening minute of quarter number 1. Nadeau has it, kicks it up ahead to Reisinger. Reisinger from the left side gets the bucket to answer right back, and the Eagles back on top, 4-3, just under 7 to play. Dickerson has it, bottom of the circle, guarded by Reisinger. By Todaro. Gets a screen from Alford, moves left side, down low, shot, bounces around and finds the bottom of the net. Jeremiah Rasdell gets on the score sheet for Amityville, and it is 5-4 Tide back out in front. Full court press now from Amityville. Todaro has it, bounce pass, finds Reisinger, gets it up ahead to Nadeau. Nadeau drives from the left side and scores. 6-5, back and forth game early here. Rocky Point on top. Dotson Isabel, bottom of the circle. Todaro on him. Passes it. Right baseline, it's Dickerson. Dickerson fakes the shot, looking for some help. Finds Dotson Isabel, one bounce. Now it's Flythe, left wing 3. Too strong, rebound pulled down by Nadeau. Bueller brings the ball up court, bounce pass over to Reisinger. 3-pointer, corner, strong by Wilkinson. Loose ball picked up by Dotson Isabel. 6-5, Amityville trails by a point. Dotson Isabel, baseline, kicks it out, near corner. 3-pointer, Dickerson thinks about it, and instead we get a whistle, and a foul is called, and that will send Dickerson to the line for 3. That foul is called on Cougar Bueller, and Amir Dickerson, who last game had 6 free throws in the losing overtime effort to Mount Sinai, is back at the free throw line for the second time this game. First free throw doesn't fall as we get a substitute. Bueller out of the game. And Fernandez, well, now they're going to say Bueller's going to have to wait a second. Braden Fernandez is set to come into this one. Dickerson up with the second of 3. That rims out, no good. And now the substitutions should be in, and Cougar Butler takes a seat. Braden Fernandez enters the game. Julian Nelson seeing his first action, called up from JV today. The third free throw, that doesn't go, so a rare poor performance by Dickerson from the free throw line, but we get a travel called on Aiden Todaro. Didn't like the call, and that will get the ball right back to the Amityville Tide. Dotson Isabel will inbound. Finds Dickerson. Dickerson drives up from the left side. That one doesn't go. Tips in his own shot. And now Amityville back on top by 1. It's 7-6, 5:20 to go. Behind the back dribble, it's Wilkerson. Wilkerson drives, kicks it out, near corner, 3-pointer. Reisinger drills it. 9-7, 5:08 to go. Opening quarter, Reisinger with the 3. Dotson Isabel has it, right at midcourt. Guarded by Todaro. Gets it over to Flythe, left side, drives, bounce pass over to Nelson. Up with the shot and good. So Nelson making his presence felt early on. And it's 9-9, 4:43 to go. Ball out of bounds, but it will remain in possession to the Eagles. Nelson called up because J.J. Washington unavailable to play today. And Nelson's going to give Amityville some much-needed size down low in the paint. So it'll be inbounded under the Eagles' basket. They get it in to Nadeau. Nadeau takes it up court himself, kicks it over to the near side. A three-pointer doesn't go by Pinero, who just entered the game. And Flythe brings it up the court for the Tide. Flythe guarded by Reisinger. Flythe gets it over to Isabel. Around the world now, it's Alfred. Alfred thinks about a three. Instead, gets it in the corner to Dickerson. Cross-court pass to nobody as it sails out of bounds. And that will be Eagles basketball. All knotted up at 9, opening quarter, 4:20 to go. Tadaro inbounds to our right, looking for help. Tide pressing in the backcourt. Reisinger calling for it and gets it. This is the guy you want controlling the ball as Flythe guards him. Reisinger able to cross midcourt. Bounce pass in the corner, now it's Nadeau. Nadeau gets it back out to Pinero. Bounce pass to the left side, it's Reisinger. Flythe guards him. 4 minutes left, opening quarter. As Tadaro has it, gets it to the top of the paint. Now it's Nadaro, and that is no good. And the Tide bring it back the other way. Dickerson pulls back, three-pointer, sinks it. Amir Dickerson drains the three. And Amityville on a little 5-0 run, and they take their largest lead of the game. It's 12-9, 3:36 to go, first quarter. Tadaro has it, corner, Reisinger. Reisinger guarded by Flythe, bounce pass down low. We're gonna get a foul called on Julian Nelson. So that'll be Amityville's first foul. And the Eagles will inbound under the Tide basket. Pinero gets it over to Nadeau. And it's Tadaro. Three-pointer drained by Don Wilkinson. And we are all tied up at 12. So a back and forth game here early on, 3:13 to go in the first quarter. Dotson Isabel guarded by Tadaro. Right side baseline, Dickerson kicks it back out to Dotson Isabel, fakes his shot from the free throw line, floater, doesn't go off the back rim, and the rebound is pulled down by Tadaro. Up ahead now it's Pinero from the left side, and he lays it off the glass. Eagles back on top, 14-12, and we get a timeout from Coach Jack Agostino and the Amityville Tide with 2:50 to go in the first quarter. So this has been a fun back and forth game to start off, and we're going to break it down more. But first, we are going to check in with our sideline reporter, Melissa Santos.
As we head into midterms and Regents Week next week, let's show the same focus in the classrooms that we bring into today's game. Back to you.
And it is Regents and midterm week for many of these students. Both of these schools are going to have to do it, but part of being a student athlete is being able to balance your tough schedule in the middle of basketball season and studying for your tests. And I know that certainly for Amityville, Coach Agostino makes that a priority. He talked about this before the season even started, about how the most important thing that he wants to see from his players is to see them go to college and become successful. 14-12, Eagles out in front. 2:38 and counting, opening quarter. It's Dotson Isabel playing catch with Flythe. Flythe has it, bounce pass. It's Dickerson, left side, up with the shot, too strong. And here come the Eagles. Tadaro has it, crosses midcourt, hands it over to Reisinger. In the paint, up with the left hand, no good, but a foul. And that will send Peyton Reisinger to the free throw line. He'll get a pair of shots here. Reisinger, a very important player for the Rocky Point Eagles. He's been averaging 18.3 points per game. He is their #1 scorer. And in their victory, as the first free throw falls for Reisinger, in the Eagles' victory against Hampton Bays, Reisinger put up 26 points, including 3 three-pointers, and was also very successful doing what he's doing right now. 7 points from the free throw line. And there's his second one from the free throw line today as Reisinger converts. 16-12, largest lead for the Eagles today. 2:17 to go. First quarter, we get a whistle. And they're going to call a reach-in foul on the Eagles on Don Wilkinson. So Dotson Isabel will inbound far sideline right in front of the Eagles bench. Here's Dickerson. Dickerson, near corner, three-pointer. Dotson Isabel rims out, and the rebound pulled down by Reisinger. Pushing the tempo the other way, it's Williamson. Now driving in the lane, up with the shot. No good for Todaro. Top of the key, Reisinger puts up the 15-footer off the back of the rim, and two white jerseys battle for the ball. We get a whistle and a travel called on the Tide. So a turnover for Amityville. Dickerson and Dotson Isabel didn't realize that the two teammates were battling for the same rebound. So the Eagles will get another opportunity as Tatum Mason enters the game. Dotson Isabel will take a quick breather. Coach Agostino trying to set up his team's defense as the Eagles will inbound. They get it into Reisinger. Now out to Pinero, cross court over to Wilkinson. Wilkinson crossover dribble, burns Albert, and we get a whistle down low, and they're going to call another foul on Amityville, and this will put the Eagles in the bonus. So that will send Don Wilkinson to the free throw line. 16-12, 1:44 to go, opening quarter. Eagles out in front. And the first free throw falls for Wilkinson. And right now, the Eagles find themselves in the midst of an 8-0 run. They've opened up their largest lead of the game, 17-12. Second free throw is also good. 18-12, 9-0 run for the Eagles. And we get a pass over to Rosdale, loses the handle, was able to recover, and we have a whistle on the floor. Shot did go in, but they're going to count it. So a great job by Nelson, able to get the bucket and drawing the foul. So a chance for a three-point play by Nelson, who didn't know he would be playing in this game until very recently, but his impact being felt early. And the three-point play not completed as Wilkinson brings it up the other way. Eagles have it. It's left wing. Reisinger kicks it out into the corner. Three-pointer by Pinero doesn't go. And a good effort by Todaro as he pulls it down, but he lands and rolls out of bounds. So it'll be Amityville ball. Entering the game for Amityville, Isaiah Nixon now, as Nelson takes a seat. 18-14, 1:15 to go, first quarter. Eagles out in front. Nixon, right wing, loses the handle, kicked out of bounds, and they're going to award possession to the blue jerseys. So it'll be Todaro inbounding in their own backcourt. Finds Reisinger, pressure in the backcourt from Mason. Mason fresh off the bench for the Tide. Reisinger gets it, cross court, takes it himself all the way to the lane, breakdown defensively for the Tide, and it is 20-14, 52 seconds to play, opening quarter. Dickerson trying to take it himself, puts up a shot, upper left block, that doesn't go. Rebound pulled down by Wilkerson. 33 seconds on the shot clock, 37 on the game clock. Reisinger has it, guarded by Dickerson, bottom of the circle, gets a screen, left wing, spins around Alford, drives to the hoop again, doesn't go. Rebound pulled down by Rosdale. Shot clock turned off, kicked ahead to Alford, wide open, and he finger rolls it in. 20 seconds remaining, quarter number one. 20-16, Eagles out in front. Eagles are going to look for the last shot. Wilkerson has it. Left wing, gets a screen. Kicks it over to Todaro. Back to Wilkerson. 5 seconds left. Wilkerson guarded by Alfred. 3 seconds left. Wilkerson looking for a shot. Finds Reisinger. Puts up a shot at the buzzer and drills it from downtown. And that is how quarter number one ends. It is 23-16. And we will step aside quickly here as Amityville trails with 1 quarter in the books. Don't go anywhere. Quarter number two coming up next, right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
I've always loved space and football. Growing up, some people told me I had to choose. But here's the deal. You can be great at more than one thing. And getting involved in STEM opens up your world to a universe of opportunities in life.
This is my time.
Get inspired and get involved today. There are STEM programs and science centers available in your community, so be sure to check out spaceforall.us to learn more and get started.
This is my time. There ain't no doubt in my mind.
Find your place in space.
This is my time.
Space for All.
Hi, this is Tommy Lugauer, Loogie, from WFAN, and you're watching the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
Welcome back for quarter number 2 to the Fred Williams Memorial Gymnasium. It's a beautiful Saturday morning, but things not starting off the way Amityville wants it as they trail 23-16 to the Eagles. And we now check in with our sideline reporter, Melissa Santos.
As throughout the first quarter, Julian Nelson has shown that he's capable to help with the varsity team. Let's see how the second quarter goes. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Melissa. And we are set for the second quarter of action. The ball will be inbounded right in front of us here on press row. Eagles out in front, 23-16. It'll be Amityville ball as Nixon gets set to inbound. He gets it to Dickerson. He's joined on the court by Mason, Alfred, and Nelson back out on the court. Nixon, cross court, over to Mason. Mason, drive, shot, doesn't go. Rebound, pulled down, that doesn't go, and it's hauled in by Nadeau. Wilkinson gets it up court. Reisinger, three-pointer. That's short off the front rim, and we get a whistle as Dickerson has the ball, and a foul will be called, a pushing foul on the Eagles. So Tide will keep possession, trailing 23-16, opening 30 seconds of the second quarter. Dickerson has it, guarded by Tadaro in the backcourt. Now it's Nixon, right wing. Over to Mason, some new faces on the court for Amityville to start the second quarter. Nixon has it, guarded by Pinero. Gets it over to Alfred. Alfred baseline jumper, and Alfred converts. So Amityville on the board first here in the second quarter. They still trail 23-18, 7:10 to go. Tadaro has it, looking to take it himself, pulls back, good defense by Alfred. Wilkinson has it, left wing. Crossover dribble, spins left, spins right. We get a whistle and a foul called on Dickerson as some pretty moves being shown by Don Wilkerson. Dickerson stayed with him, but ended up drawing the foul. And now some of the Amityville starters come back in the game. Dotson Isabel and Flythe will come in as Mason and Nelson take a seat. Some changes on the other side as well. Tadaro is in. Reisinger is still in, and so is Wilkinson. Pinero back on the court as he tries to inbound and gets it to the top of the key. Cole Grable also seeing his first action of the game for the Eagles. Again, crossover dribble. Wilkinson drives in the paint. He hits the deck, and another foul is called. So 2 quick fouls on Amityville. And it looks like we're going to get another substitution for the Tide. Back in the game, starter Jeremiah Rasdell, and Dickerson will get what I presume will be a quick breather, but the fouls are going to be a problem. He needs to watch that because Amityville needs Dickerson on the court. Here's a three-pointer by Wilkinson. That one too strong off the back rim. But rebound, soared in the air, pulled down by Tadaro. And Wilkerson will get a fresh shot clock for the Eagles. Gets a screen, far corner, mishandled by Pinero, regains control, double team, looking for some help. We get a whistle, and they're going to give possession to Amityville. 23-18, 6:34 remaining in the first half. Dotson Isabel has it, back in the game, taking over the point guard duties. In between the circles, now it's Flythe. Flythe looking for somebody to get it over to, and he finds Dotson Isabel in front of the Eagle bench. Now it's Nixon. Alfred, down low, right block. Flythe, pass off a foot and out of bounds. And it looks like they are going to award possession to Amityville. So with 16 seconds on the shot clock, Amityville will get another crack at it as Dotson Isabel looks to inbound under the Eagle basket. And sends it all the way out to midcourt, but not deep enough. Wilkinson, the interception, takes it himself the other way, and it's 25-18 Eagles, 6:06 to go. second quarter. Dotson Isabel thinks about driving. Behind the back dribble, pulls up, 10-footer, and drains it. Dotson Isabel able to answer right back for Amityville. An important bucket, and it's now 25-20, 5:51 to go in quarter number 2. Todaro has it, guarded by Alfred. Picks up his dribble, corner now, it's Pinero. Pinero, bounce pass, dangerous pass, fight for the ball as Grable and Dotson Isabel go for it, and we are going to get a foul called on Amityville. So now they are up to 3 early on here in the second quarter. Eagles close to being in the bonus. Pinero sets the inbound, finds Reisinger. Reisinger near corner, dribbles it back out to the wing, guarded by Fleith, looks for a screen. Good defense by Amityville, double teaming Reisinger in the corner, but is able to find Wilkerson. Gets it over, three-pointer Pinero, that doesn't go, and Fleith pulls down the rebound. Tide trailing by 5. Fleith has it right wing, bounce pass, bottom of the circle, it's Isabel. Dotson Isabel drives, three-pointer, and we're gonna get a travel called as it was swatted away from Rasdale, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Turnover for the Tide, and that awards possession back to the Eagles. 25-20 as Rasdale takes a seat, and Dickerson re-enters this contest. Tide putting some pressure on in the backcourt. Reisinger brings the ball up in the between the leg dribble, guarded by Fleith. Reisinger spins around, goes middle of the lane, up with the shot, it's tipped. Loose ball, and Amityville comes away with it. Dickerson now has it, gets it to Dotson Isabel. Alfred in the corner, bounce pass, Fleith. Fleith drives, loses the handle, good defense, tipped away, but they will call a reach-in foul, and that foul will be on the Eagles. So Dotson Isabel inbounds. 25-20, Eagles out in front, 4:55 remaining in the half. Bounce pass, down low, Dickerson has it tipped away, gets the rebound, up with the shot from underneath, doesn't go. Eagles are looking for a travel, but they are going to call a foul on the Eagles, and that will send Dickerson back to the free throw line. Dickerson today just 1 out of 4 after hitting 6 free throws in the loss to Mount Sinai. Dickerson up with the first, and this time he drains it. So Dickerson on the day so far, 9 points, looking to break into double figures, as the second free throw is also good. So a 4-0 run for the Tide. It's 25-22. Eagles up by 3, 4:50 to go in the first half. Pressure in the backcourt. Fleith guarding Reisinger. Reisinger gets it over midcourt, has it tipped away, but another foul is called. This one, it looks like, will be called on Nixon. And that's the 4th team foul this quarter for Amityville. So the Eagles will inbound. It'll be Pinero right in front of us, gets it to Wilkinson. Alfred backs off. Wilkinson gets the screen, dribbles right. Good adjustment by Amityville. Double team in the quarter front of far press row. And we get a whistle. And it looks like they are going to call a timeout. So a good timeout from the Eagles as they were in trouble getting pinned in the corner. So both teams will go back to their respective benches and talk things over. 25-22 with 4:34 to go in the first half, as the Rocky Point Eagles currently lead the Amityville Tide on a chilly Saturday morning, and we thank you for spending it with us here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. Matt Grice and Melissa Santos on the sidelines for us. Let's break down where this game is so far. It's really been back and forth for most of this contest. Most of the first quarter saw an exchange of points until Rocky Point went on a 9-0 run towards the end of the first quarter, and that was led by Don Wilkinson, who's been very good for them. Wilkinson averaging 7.9 points per game this year, and then it's pretty much been back and forth since then. Amityville trying to get back into this. They trailed most of the game against Mount Sinai also, as Reisinger has it, trying to extend the three-point Eagles lead. Now it's Wilkinson. Wilkinson guarded by Nixon, drives, pulls back, near corner, needs some help, gets it over to Todaro. Todaro drives in the paint, has it, right upper block, gets it to Wilkerson, 3 seconds on the shot clock. Double team, needing some help. Tadaro up with the three just as the shot clock expires. That doesn't go, and Flythe pulls down the rebound. Full court bounce pass, gets it over to Alford with the easy lay-in. 25-24, Amityville within one, halfway through quarter number 2. Good pressure by Dotson Isabel in the backcourt. Dangerous pass, it leads to the turnover. Here comes Alfred. Alfred over to Dickerson. Dickerson up with the shot, draws the foul, can't convert. Looks like they thought they had more time than they did. Good hustle by Reisinger to get back there and prevent Dickerson from converting, but that will send Dickerson back to the free throw line. Today he is 3 for 6 so far from the line, a chance to tie it up. Amityville in the midst of a 6-0 run, and make that 7 as Dickerson now has 11 points, and we are all tied up at 25. Dickerson, second opportunity, and sinks them both. So, Amir Dickerson has gotten hot from the free throw line, and Amityville takes their first lead since early in the first quarter. It's 26-25. Good backcourt pressure from the Tide. Eagles able to get up to Tadaro. Near corner, Wilkinson thinks about a three, guarded by Nixon, and we get contact and a foul. They are going to call that foul on Nixon. And that is the 5th team foul, so that puts the Eagles in the bonus and will send Wilkinson to the line. The guard play for the Eagles has been stellar so far. Wilkinson and Reisinger really doing a good job with the ball in their hands, and Amityville struggling to stay in front of them defensively, and that's what's led to the abundance of fouls here as Wilkinson gets a free look, and he hits the first of 2 free throws. That ends the Tide's 8-0 run. Eight points so far today for Wilkinson. Wilkinson converts on both, and the Eagles back up as we are 3:28 to go. And there's a shot and a three-pointer. Good response by Amityville. And actually now they're gonna say it was they're gonna give him the three. And Alan Dotson Isabel from downtown. He's dangerous from beyond the arc. 29-27, Amityville back out in front. Adam Dotson Isabel with the three-pointer. And the first free throw by Fernandez is good as he goes to the free throw line. Again, Amityville, too many team fouls here in the second quarter. So Fernandez, who averages 4.3 points a game, and doesn't get the second free throw to go. So he's 1 out of 2. 29-28, Amityville out in front. Dickerson thinks about a far baseline three, instead finds Flythe. Flythe drives, puts up the shot, and gets the bounce. Amityville back up by 3 with 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Back the other way, Grable to Reisinger. Bounce pass intercepted. Dickerson gets it over to Flythe. Flythe has it, thinks about taking it himself. Now he pulls back, three-pointer by Dotson Isabel. That doesn't go, and the rebound is pulled down by Tadaro. So brother like brother, both good from beyond the arc. Missed there, as in the corner it's Nadeau. Thinks about a three, guarded by Alan Dotson Isabel, both on the court at the same time. Reisinger has it, pinned in the corner, gets some help from Nadeau, drives in the lane, that doesn't go, loose ball, and Dickerson pulls it down. 31-28, Amityville out in front. Dotson Isabel underneath, fakes the shot, up with it off the glass, and good. Alan Dotson Isabel gives Amityville a 33-28 lead, their largest of the game. 2:03 to go in the first half. Good defense in the corner by Mason. Loose ball, paint picked up by Flythe. Flythe sends it ahead to Adam Dotson Isabel, up with the layup and good. And we get a whistle and a timeout call by Coach Jim Jordan of the Eagles as Amityville is on top, 35-28, 1:44 remaining in the first half. So a good run by Amityville. They have been dominant in the second quarter here. An 8-0 run by Amityville, followed up by what is currently in the midst of a 6-0 run. And that's been the difference here in quarter number 2. We were talking before about how the Eagles got out to a strong start with a 9-0 run in quarter number 1. But Amityville has been doing a really good job of rotating in their bench players and giving a lot of looks. We've seen most of their bench get an opportunity today. Julian Nelson, we talked about him getting a chance with J.J. Washington unavailable. He's done a nice job giving them some much needed size. One of the things that Coach Agostino talked about that he wants to see his team improve upon is being good in the paint on the glass and being stronger defensively. And we've seen flashes of that today, but as I said to you before, the Rocky Point Eagles guards are very, very good with the ball. And one of the things Amityville is going to have to be careful of as this game moves forward is getting themselves into foul trouble. You don't want a situation where late in the game you have to sit your best players in a tight matchup because they are in foul trouble. But it is 35-28. Amityville has built themselves up a lead here. 1:44 left in quarter number 2. Full court press now by the Tide. Tadaro breaks it, gets it up ahead to Bueller, who's back in the game. He hits the deck hard. The ball goes out of bounds, and they are going to call a foul on Amityville. So that will send Cougar Bueller to the line. Bueller had a big game in the Eagles' last contest against Hampton Bays as he was able to get 12 points, including 3 3-pointers. Started off this game hot for the Eagles and misses the first free throw. So Nelson will come back in the game. Rasdale will sit for Amityville. Nadeau takes a seat for the Eagles. As Bueller does a behind-the-back setup for his free throw. And the second one rims around and is good. So that will end the Tide's 6-0 run as Bueller converts on 1 out of 2. And it's 35-29, 95 seconds remaining in the half. Amityville out on top. Dotson, Isabel, bottom of the circle, in between the leg dribble, guarded by Tadaro. Drives, right side, fakes the pass, up with the shot, is swatted away by Tadaro, but out of bounds. Amityville will keep possession. They reset the shot clock. Probably should have left it alone as the ball never touched the rim, but now we get a timeout. And again, both teams will meet up in the huddle. 35-29, Amityville in front, 1:24 to go in the first half. Last year, Amityville fell to Rocky Point in their final home game of the season. We had that coverage right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. It was a game that was very close, one that Amityville had expected to win, but a good effort by the Eagles here on Amityville's home court. And that loss for Amityville ended up costing them a home playoff game, but ultimately, Amityville went on the road and won 3 playoff games before finally seeing their season come to an end, went on a great run. And Coach Agostino spoke to us in the pregame show and talked about how he expects that his team should be able to play anywhere. It shouldn't matter, home or away. And if you want to win a championship, that's what you're going to have to be able to do. Reminder, this is Coach Agostino's last game as the head coach of Amityville. He has 4 state titles up on the wall here in the gym, and I'm sure he would love nothing more to add a 5th before assistant coach A.J. Price takes over next year. 35-29, minute 24 remaining in the first half. Amityville will inbound. Both Dotson Isabel brothers on the court along with Dickerson and Nelson. And it will be Taden Mason inbounding the ball for Amityville. Finds Dickerson, up with the shot, draws the foul, shot no good, but that will send Amir Dickerson back to the free throw line where he has been very good this game, trying to add some points before the half expires. 35-29. Dickerson, who eventually will look to play Division I basketball on the collegiate level, may do a year in junior college, puts up the first free throw, and Dickerson once again able to convert. So Amityville on a 7-1 run as they lead 36-29. And the second free throw from Dickerson rolls around, no good. Pulled down by Tadaro. Backcourt pressure. Tadaro crosses the timeline. Right wing, Reisinger. Reisinger dribbling in the paint, bounce pass, and we're gonna get a jump ball. Possession favors the Eagles. So I think Amityville holding their breath a little bit there, worried about a foul call. So the Eagles will have it after the jump ball is called. Tadaro looks to inbound, finds Fernandez. Fernandez double teamed in the corner, gets some help from Wilkerson. Left wing, Wilkerson drives, middle of the court, kicks it out to the wing. It's Reisinger. Reisinger in the paint, up with the shot off the top of the glass and in. Under a minute to go here in the first half. 36-31, Amityville still out in front. Adam Dotson, Isabel, bounce pass down low. We get a foul. Nope, we get a travel called. And that will be a turnover for the Tide. 36-31, Amityville out in front. 50 seconds remaining in the first half. Pushing the tempo, it's Wilkerson. Up from the left side, no good. Rebound, pulled down by Nelson. Pass up ahead and too far for Adam Dotson. Isabel out of bounds, so the Eagles will get it back. 37.7 seconds remaining on the game clock here as we'll get a couple of substitutions. Nixon comes back in. Amir Dixon will take a breather. We'll see if Coach Agostino puts him back in when Amityville gets another possession. Backcourt pressure. About 7-second differential. Shot clock and game clock as Tadaro has it. Eagles trailing by 5. Now it's Bueller, right wing, bounce pass. Bottom of the circle, Reisinger drives in the paint, up with the shot, it's tipped. But they are going to say he was fouled in the process. The Tide don't like the call, and Coach Agostino coming out on the court and getting his voice heard also, as he's complaining that every single time Amityville makes contact defensively with the basketball, they're getting flagged with the foul. And that will put Reisinger at the charity stripe. 20 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Amityville with a 5-point lead. And Reisinger hits the first of 2. And Wilkerson, he'll take a seat along with Bueller. Grable and Fernandez are in the game. For Amityville, Dickerson comes back in. Both Dotson and Isabel brothers out on the court along with Mason and Nelson. Reisinger looks to convert a pair. 4-point lead for Amityville. That one rims out, no good, out of bounds, and it will be Tide basketball. 36-32, 19.5 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Shot clock is turned off. Amityville will look for the last shot. It's Dickerson crossing the timeline right in front of us here on press row, guarded by Tadaro. Now they switch. Augustin in the game now. He guards Dickerson. 5 seconds remaining. Dickerson gets a screen, spins right side, 2 seconds, drives baseline, up with the shot at the buzzer, and it's good. They count it 38-32, and that's where the first half comes to a close with Amir Dickerson spinning around 4 blue jerseys and getting the Tide the 6-point halftime lead. Don't go anywhere. The halftime show is coming up next, right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just...
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
They said cigarettes were safe. We know how that turned out. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens? Fact, more than 1 in 4 high school students are vaping, and 80% say their first e-cigarette was flavored. Vaping is harmful to developing brains. The reason we think vaping is safe? Marketing. Same lies, different day. Tell Big Vape to quit lying.
America's Vet Dogs is a national nonprofit empowering veterans, first responders, and active duty service members facing both visible and hidden disabilities through the placement of a highly trained service dog. However, recipients never bear the financial burden. You can be a part of making a meaningful difference in the lives of veterans and first responders in need. Learn more by visiting vetdogs.org.
Hi, this is Amir Dickerson, point guard for the Amityville Tide, and you are watching Tide Basketball on Amityville Broadcasting Network.
It's the Tide Basketball Halftime Show on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
And welcome back to the Fred Williams Memorial Gymnasium as we are at the half here in Amityville, and right now the Tide are leading the Eagles by a score of 38-32. Matt Grice, Catherine Martinez here with you on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. And once again, thank you for spending your Saturday morning with us. We have a lot to break down here. In the last game on Thursday against Mount Sinai, Amityville trailed pretty much the entire game until the fourth quarter. It looked like this one was heading in the same direction with how things started. But in the second quarter, Amityville found their offensive game and have been able to build up a nice 38-32 lead here at the half. But let's break it down and get into it. In the beginning of the game, no team really wanted to take charge as they went back and forth.
Right. Both teams, it kept going back and forth. Like, Amityville would score, then it would be Rocky Point, and then it keep going back until Rocky Point kind of took the lead with 9 shots at first, and then it kept with Wickinson kept dribbling, and Reinerser also kept working together, always trying to make AV team have like a fouls and all that.
Yeah, they have done the guard play for the Eagles have done a really good job, led by Don Wilkinson and Peyton Reisinger, as you mentioned, Catherine. Reisinger comes in averaging 18.3 points a game. He's a legit player, and we've seen that today. Wilkinson, about half that amount, 7.9 points per game, but he has been explosive. And for Amityville in both quarters, they really had a hard time staying between the guards of the Eagles and the basket, and as a result, a lot of fouls were being called, which gave a lot of free throw opportunities to the Eagles.
Right, and it helped a lot for the Rocky Point to continue saying that, Amityville might not continue striving to get the ball and all that. And then until mostly into more in the game where Amityville was like, okay, now they're playing rough. We have to have like face guards on these people. And they continued to do that to the point where they started to gain more points after that.
Good point. And a back and forth start, as we mentioned, and you mentioned that Rocky Point went on a 9-0 run, giving them a nice lead in the middle of the first quarter. Then back and forth it went after that, and you had to wonder, is this going to be another game where the Tide are playing from behind, constantly trying to play catch-up? After a while, that's going to wear you out. But that was not to be the case, as when we entered quarter number 2, Amityville started to find their offensive game.
Right, because now when they became to think more into the game, they started to have a 8-0 shooting more into the basket, always trying to gain more, to the point where they gained 6-0, and Amityville is now in the lead.
Yeah, it was really led by Dickerson, who, if you're going to win important games, your best players have to play their best. And Dickerson has done a great job, not only leading with his ability to hit field goals from the floor, but he has been getting to the free throw line and converting. He did have an opportunity early in the game to shoot 3 free throws. He did not convert on any of them, but he has been perfect ever since then. And again, an 8-0 run for Amityville in the second quarter, followed up by a 6-0 run, and that really was the difference in the second quarter and a difference in the score right now, as it's 38-32 at the half. But Amityville walking into halftime with some momentum, as with 20 seconds left in the second quarter, Amityville was holding for the last shot. They gave the ball to Dickerson, and he held it to the absolute last moment and converted as the buzzer sounded.
Right. And also it could show that there might be, from last year's game to this year, there could be a whole different, maybe that last year game was affecting them a lot. So that's why they're trying to be like, okay, last year was one, now this year is going to be a whole different perspective with Rocky Point.
So Amir Dickerson leading all scores for Amityville with 15 points, and on the other side, Peyton Reisinger, he put up 15 points also in the first half. So we'll see which best player is going to step up here in the second half. We're about 2.5 minutes away from the third quarter, but a lot of basketball here left to be played. And as we told you, Rocky Point has some recent history of success winning here in Amityville, as a very important game at the end of the season last year. Rocky Point came away with a 3-point victory on Amityville's home court. So I am sure that Coach Jim Jordan is reminding his players of that information, that come out here, it doesn't matter that you're down by 6 points. You go on a 6-0 run, the game can swing very easily one way or the other. But Catherine, as we get set for the second half, what are some things that you look to see from both of these teams?
What I see is seeing if Julian Nelson would come in, still helping out with the team, even though he's from the JV team, but it seems like he's actually working hard. And seeing if Wilkinson and Reinesser will continue to work together, even though they're not in the best play right now.
And we'll have to see if the Amityville defense can stop them without getting whistled for the fouls, because if they get into foul trouble late in this game and don't have their best players on the court, it's going to be a lot more difficult down the stretch. But right now, the Tide have themselves a halftime lead. It's 38-32 up on the Eagles, and we have second half action coming up next, right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just...
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
I've always loved space and football. Growing up, some people told me I had to choose. But here's the deal. You can be great at more than one thing. And getting involved in STEM opens up your world to a universe of opportunities in life.
This is my time.
Get inspired and get involved today. There are STEM programs and science centers available in your community, so be sure to check out spaceforall.us to learn more and get started.
This is my time. There ain't no doubt in my mind.
Find your place in space.
This is my time.
Space for All.
Hey, this is Sean Morash from WFAN. True Long Islanders know you're watching the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
And welcome back to quarter number 3 here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network, as the Amityville Tide bring in a 38-32 lead. As we get set to start the third quarter, it'll be Dickerson, Dotson, Isabel, Alford, Flythe, and Rasdale, the starters from the beginning of the game on the court for Amityville, as they have the first possession here to open things up. Flythe Left wing, it's Dotson Isabel. Over to Dickerson. Three-pointer, far corner, Alford, and he drains it. Same spot he hit the big three against Mount Sinai, and Amityville builds themselves a 9-point lead. It's 41-32. Back the other way, and it's Wilkinson. His layup doesn't go. And Amityville pushing the tempo, down low. Alfred has himself 5 quick points to start quarter number 3. It's 43-32, largest lead of the game for the Tide. 7:20 to go, third quarter. Tadaro has it. Over to Reisinger. Three-pointer, far baseline. That doesn't go. Offensive board pulled down by Nadeau. Tadaro, he hits a right wing three. And a quick answer for the Eagles, 43-35. 1 minute gone by in the third. Dickerson spins around, up with the shot, doesn't go, tries to tip it in, and gets it. Amir Dickerson back the other way in a pretty move on the follow-through. 45-35, 6:45 to go, third quarter. Amityville up by 10. Reisinger has it, bottom of the circle, gets it over to Wilkerson, bounce pass down low, left block, back out to Wilkerson, three-pointer, too strong. Rebound fought for and won by Reisinger. Reisinger fakes a three, and it's the top of the key to Nadeau. Nadeau dribbles right, hands off to Wilkerson. Wilkerson guarded by Alfred. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Bottom of the circle, good defense by Alfred. Hands it over to Reisinger. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Driving in the lane, up with the left hand. And Reisinger, the pretty shot. And gets the two. 45-37, three-pointer Flythe. Off the side rim, no good. Rebound pulled down by Reisinger. Pushing the tempo. Up ahead is Bueller. Bueller under the basket. Wild shot. Hits the rim, doesn't fall. Rebound grabbed by Tadaro. And it's out of bounds. And we'll check in with our sideline reporter, Melissa Santos.
Good evening. As I interviewed Julian Nelson, he told me how he feels blessed and grateful to have the opportunity to be moved up to help for the varsity team. He as well feels that he performed well in the first quarter and second quarter and is expecting to keep performing well in the third and fourth quarter. Back to you.
Thanks, Melissa. As the shot is missed on the inbounds by Nadeau. Here come the Tide. Dickerson has it. The 4 blue jerseys around him, and he takes it to the hoop anyway and converts. Amir Dickerson. And it's back up to a 10-point lead for Amityville. 5:36 to go, third quarter. Nadeau has it. Now it's Tadaro. And Reisinger will slow things down. In between the circles, gets it to Nadeau. Nadeau drives left side paint. Shot doesn't go. And Nelson back in the game. Pulls down the defensive board for the Tide. Alfred, hot hand early, puts up a 10-footer. Too strong. Loose ball. Reisinger has it. Throws it ahead to Wilkerson. Wilkerson, right side, layup, and it's good. 47-39, 5 minutes to play here in the third quarter. In between the circles, it's Flythe. Flythe hands it off to Dickerson. Dickerson drives, pulls back, three-pointer off the front of the rim, no good. And the rebound taken by Wilkerson. Wilkerson, bounce pass, low right block, up with the layup, and Bueller converts. 47-41, 4:34 to go. The other way, down low, Nelson puts up the shot off the side of the backboard, no good. Rebound taken by Nadeau. Nadeau taking it himself. Three-pointer, right wing wide open for Reisinger. That doesn't go. And Dickerson will slow things down with Amityville up by 6. Approaching the halfway point of the third quarter. Driving now, it's Mason. Pass far side, now down low. Alfred in the paint, up with the shot. And they're gonna call a travel on Cameron Alfred. So a turnover for the Tide, and that will give the ball back to the Eagles, who are in the middle of a 6-2 run as they try to cut into this tie lead. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Reisinger taking his time, getting the ball up the court, finds Wilkinson. Left wing, bounce pass. Low block, spinning is Nadeau. Up with the shot, and it's good. Chance for a three-point play as the officials call the foul, and Nadeau goes to the line. 47-43 now. Amityville out in front, 3:47 remaining in the third quarter.
Lots of action to start this third quarter for both teams.
Nato, 17 points against Hampton Bays. He averages 8.8 points a game for this Eagles team, looking to complete the three-point play, and he does. 47-44, lead is cut down to 3. Amityville out in front, 3:41 to go in the third. Flythe has it in between the circles, guarded by Tadaro. Chest pass to Dotson Isabel. Flythe has it, driving to the lane, up with the layup off the glass and good. So Flythe responds for the Tide. And that ends a 6-0 run for the Eagles. Nadeau has it in the paint, up with the shot and good as Wilkerson now has a chance for back-to-back three-point plays. 49-46. 3:15 to go in the third quarter, and Wilkerson goes to the line looking to add another. Wilkerson already with 5 points, make it 6 points here in the second half as he converts. Lead is down to 2, 49-47, approaching the 3-minute mark. Dickerson thinks about a long three, dangerous pass over to Rasdal. Loose ball, out of bounds, and they will reward possession to the white jerseys. So Amityville will get it with 24 seconds on the shot clock. 3:04 on the game clock for quarter number 3. Dickerson looks to inbound. Far sideline, right in front of Coach Price. He gets it to Dotson Isabel. Dotson Isabel, screen from Mason. Near corner three-pointer, Dickerson rims out, and the rebound fought for and pulled in by Nadeau. He pushes the tempo. Bueller, far baseline three, doesn't go. Rebound, pulled down and put back by Reisinger, and we are all tied at 49, 2:42 to go in the third.
Back to a brand new ball game.
Down low, pretty move doesn't go though by Rasdal, and the blue jerseys have it again. Bueller, bottom of the circle, guarded by Mason. Now over to Wilkinson. Wilkinson, bounce pass, down low. Nadeau kicks it back out for a three-pointer, air ball by Tadaro. Out of bounds, Amityville gets it back. All tied up at 49, 2:15 to go in the third quarter. And we get a substitution as Rasdal comes out of the game. And here comes Amityville.
Everyone says basketball is a game of runs. Let's see if the Tide can stop this run that the Eagles are on right now.
Dangerous pass by Dotson Isabel. It's tipped out of bounds as hitting the floor hard was Cougar Bueller.
Looks like he's bleeding from the mouth.
He's grabbing his mouth or his chin, and the officials are gonna blow it dead as he gets looked at. Cut on his chin.
Second game in a row we've had a stoppage in play due to some blood.
He appears to be okay. They just need to get him cleaned up on the sidelines here. We'll see if they substitute him out or wipe away the blood. And Dickerson wants to get going here, and now Coach Agostino calls his players back into the huddle. And I'm assuming we'll probably see the same thing on the other side. Now Josh Pinero gets up and comes off the bench, so Bueller will take a seat while they work on him, but he looks to be okay. Dickerson set to inbound right in front of us here on press row. All tied up at 49, 2 minutes to go, third quarter. Dotson Isabel has it. Right wing, picks up his dribble, double team, bounce pass. Left side, three-pointer. Mason, no good, hits the top of the backboard and lands in the hands of Reisinger. Reisinger pushes the tempo. Now he slows things down. Good defense by Alfred, trying to pin him in the corner. The double team. Hands it over, driving in the lane to Nadeau, and we get a foul. And that is the third team foul on Amityville this quarter, but a much better pace than what we saw in the first half. Less fouls by Amityville, more disciplined defensively, which is what they needed to do. Wilkerson has it in front of his own bench, guarded by Dickerson, trying to get a screen. Dribbles from left to right, loses his balance, loose ball, scramble for it, diving out of bounds, and it'll be Tide basketball. Still tied up at 49, 87 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Isabel crosses the timeline and meets Tadaro. Instead, gives the responsibility over to Mason. Now it's Flythe in between the circles, in between the legs. Back to Dotson, Isabel. Over to Flythe as they play catch. Flythe forces it into Dickerson, almost loses it, tries to go up with the shot. They're going to call a jump ball, and that will award possession back to the Eagles. No scoring in the last minute or so of game time. Still knotted up at 49 apiece. 107 remaining in the third. And it looks like we're going to have another injury timeout here on the court as we get a whistle. As they go, the officials go and the coaches go to check up on one of the Eagles. It looks like Pinero, who actually came in to substitute for Bueller, as he's shaken up. And so now we will see Cole Grable enter the game. So 2 Eagles on the bench getting their wings mended, but they both appear to be okay. Amityville will put on the full court press. 49-49, a minute 7 to go in the third. And it's given to Reisinger, but he loses the handle. Loose ball. Players diving all over the place, and timeout. They're going to call a timeout. Great play by the Eagles. So they will retain possession. 1:01 to go in the third, and the 2 teams will talk it over in the huddle.
There's definitely been a different kind of intensity in the action in the second half. Very curious as what was said in the locker rooms at halftime.
Intensity with less fouls.
Yeah.
So either the officials are calling less, or both teams made some adjustments, specifically Amityville, who allowed the Eagles to get into the bonus in both the first and second quarters. And right now, Amityville only has 3 team fouls here in the third quarter. They've done a much better job defensively, but the Eagles have been able to cut into this lead. Amityville ended the second quarter on a 6-0 run, but the Eagles have done a really nice job and added a 6-0 run of their own here in the third. And we are all tied up. It's been a very good game, back and forth.
Looks like Bueller's back from the locker room, all mended up.
Stop the bleeding on his chin, and the Eagles have it. Nato, guarded by Alfred, bounce pass to Wilkinson, dribbles from right to left, behind the back dribble, Alfred on him, trying to get the screen, goes left, loses the ball, and it is picked up by Mason. 3-on-1 for Amityville. Mason takes it himself, draws the foul, doesn't convert on the shot, but that will send Taydon Mason to the charity stripe for a pair. Nobody scored in a while here. Amityville with a chance to retake the lead. Eagles in the midst of a 5-0 run, but it seems like it's been a while. Again, the scoring has gone quiet for both of these teams. Mason looking for his first points of the day, and the first free throw too strong off the back side of the rim. As we'll get a substitution here. Flythe takes a seat, and entering the contest for the first time today is the freshman guard Ryan Victor for the Tide. So Amityville going with a bit of a smaller lineup, as the second free throw also no good, but it's pulled down in the paint by Victor, so immediate dividends for him, and Amityville gets a fresh shot clock in possession, but that pass from Mason is intercepted. Reisinger behind the back, picks up his dribble, gets it over to Grable, trying to get some help. Tadaro tries the near corner 3, instead changes his mind and puts it in the hands of Reisinger. Good defense by Dotson Isabel, but now they will call a foul. And that will keep possession in the hands of the Eagles. Still tied up, 49 apiece. The shot clock is turned off. 18.8 seconds left on the game clock here in the third quarter. Eagles can hold for the last shot. Tadaro gets it into the backcourt. It's Reisinger. 15 seconds remaining. Reisinger is met by Dotson Isabel at midcourt. Now it's Wilkinson, right wing, bounce pass. Nearly gets away from Tadaro. Back to Wilkerson. 5 seconds left. Driving in the paint is Nato. Here's a 10-foot baseline jumper. Rims out. No good. And the horn sounds to signal the end of quarter number 3 here in Amityville. And we are all knotted up at 49. Don't go anywhere, as this game will be decided in the next 8 minutes right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
America's Vet Dogs is a national nonprofit empowering veterans, first responders, and active duty service members facing both visible and hidden disabilities through the placement of a highly trained service dog. However, recipients never bear the financial burden. You can be a part of making a meaningful difference in the lives of veterans and first responders in need. Learn more by visiting vetdogs.org.
Hi, this is Jeremiah Rasdall, guard for the Amityville Tide, and you are watching Tide Basketball on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
3 down, 1 to go, and plenty still to be decided here in Amityville, New York, as the Amityville Tide hosts the Rocky Point Eagles in a League 5 contest, and we are all knotted up at 49. This game started off with a back-and-forth action between these two squads, but in the middle of the first quarter, Rocky Point led the way with a 9-0 run to take a healthy lead, but quarter number 2 belonged to the Tide. Amityville had an 8-0 run and a 6-0 run respectively, and Amir Dickerson again having himself a very good game, 15 first half points, and he's been piling it on here in the second half, but matching him punch for punch, Peyton Reisinger, and he has been leading the way along with Don Wilkerson, the two guards doing a great job. We've seen more from John Nadeau here in the second half as well, as we are set to start quarter number 4. And it's going to come down to who wants it more here in the end. Amityville will start off with the ball. Dotson Isabel set to inbound right in front of us here on press row. He'll be joined by Dickerson, Mason, Alford, and Flythe on the court. Dickerson has it. Dribbles from left to right, now crosses over, drives in the paint, up with the shot, no good, but that will send Dickerson back to the free throw line where he has spent a lot of time today, and we'll see if Amityville can take their first lead, well, first lead really for any team in the last, it has to be at least 10 minutes of total time. Mason had an opportunity towards the end of the third, but missed a pair of free throws.
Yeah, the Tide entered the third quarter with a 6-point lead, enters the fourth. Tide, let's see if they can hit their foul shots here in the fourth quarter.
And the first free throw is good. Dickerson not distracted by the crowd, as Eagles fans have traveled well here to Amityville, making some noise. Amityville back on top, 50-49, as Dickerson looks to convert a pair. And the second free throw falls short. So Amityville with a 1-point lead, opening 12 seconds of the fourth quarter. Driving the other way is Wilkerson. His shot falls short, and Amityville takes it back. It's Dickerson. Dickerson double teamed, throws it far baseline. It's Dotson Isabel. Dangerous pass, but Mason recovers. Back to Dotson Isabel. Cross court, he finds Alfred. Alfred drives in the lane. Up with the shot, off the back rim, no good. Loose ball grabbed by Reisinger. Reisinger gives it back to Tadaro, who will slow things down. Tadaro hands it off to Wilkerson, who goes from left to right, finds himself bottom of the circle, guarded by Alfred, looking for the screen. Wilkerson dribbling around the arc, spins around, pulls back, thinks about a shot. Now it's Reisinger. Reisinger, right wing, 10 seconds on the shot clock, drives, gets through the double team, and Reisinger draws the foul. So that will be on the floor.
That was good team defense by the Tide there, not letting them get any good looks at the basket, although eventually they were able to draw the foul.
And actually they're going to say it was in the act of shooting. So
how about that?
Reisinger goes to the free throw line, and he gets a chance to shoot a pair, and now the Amityville fans making some noise as Reisinger misses the first free throw. Opening 63 seconds of quarter number 4, Amityville with a 1-point lead against the Rocky Point Eagles.
Listen to this crowd.
Second free throw finds the bottom of the net, so we are once again tied at 50. Chance of defense coming from both the fans and the bench of the Eagles, as Dotson Isabel has it for the Tide. Picks up his dribble and finds Mason. Playing catch now with Dotson Isabel. It's Flythe, left wing. Bounce pass. Dickerson down low, up with the shot, and good. Amir Dickerson adds 2 more to his total, and the Tide back up by 2, 6:30 to go in the fourth. Tadaro pushing the tempo, looking to take it himself. Now he hands it off to Wilkinson. Loose ball, paint, scramble. Mason on the floor. We get a whistle, and they're going to give possession. No, they're going to say a timeout for Amityville. Really smart play by Tatum Mason to keep possession for Amityville. And with a 2-point lead, Amityville will have the ball as soon as both of these teams are done talking things over. 6:19 to go in quarter number 4.
It's a very fun atmosphere in this gym right now.
It is, and this is a good time to remind you that it will probably be an even crazier atmosphere on Tuesday, as arguably Amityville's biggest rival across all of their sports, Wyandanch, will come to town. It'll be a 4:30 tip-off between Amityville and Wyandanch on Tuesday, and we will have all the coverage for you right here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network, starting with our pregame show at 4:15. But right now we check in with Melissa Santos on the sideline.
So as I was overhearing about the Eagles, they're talking about how they need a more extended defense, while with AV, it's more better communicating with each other. Back to you.
Amityville has the ball. Dangerous pass. Dickerson able to haul it in. Drives baseline. We get a whistle. And it looks like they're going to call a foul on, looks like they're going to call it on Bueller. As the officials check in with Press Row to make sure that everything is recorded properly. So Amityville will inbound. Mason in charge of that responsibility as Flythe receives it in the paint and up with the 5-footer and hits. Amityville's lead back up to 4, 6 minutes remaining in the game. Pressure in the backcourt on Reisinger. It's Dotson Isabel reaching in, nothing called. Reisinger has it in between the circles, tries to take it himself, now looks for help from Tadaro. His shot flushes around the rim, and it's 54-52, 5:40 to go in the fourth.
It's a nice pass there to find the open teammate.
Matt Grice Corey's whirling on the call right now, and we get a whistle and a foul away from the ball. So a turnover for Amityville. White jersey's not happy about that one. So the Eagles will have a chance to tie it up or take the lead as Flythe will get a breather. Nixon back in the game for the Tide. Pressure in the backcourt. Bueller has it. Mason will meet him in the backcourt as Bueller gets it into the front court. Bounce pass. It's Wilkins, left wing. Gets it down low to Tadaro, back to Wilkins. Wilkins puts up a 3 over Alfred. That one rims out. Rebound pulled down below by Nato, and he is fouled. He'll shoot a pair from the free throw line. Chance to tie this game up, 5:15 to go in the contest.
And the seesaw's starting to tilt back the other way. The Tide need to re-grab the momentum.
First free throw, too strong off the back rim as Flythe checks right back into this one. Mason, he'll take a seat. And again, the Tide faithful making some noise here. Second free throw, also no good. Dickerson pulls down the rebound. Amityville still up by 2, approaching the 5-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Dickerson guarded by Tadaro. Tadaro has had the responsibility of dealing with the Amityville guards all day long. Dotson Isabel gets it over to Alfred. Bounce pass, baseline. Dickerson, instead it's back around the world to Alfred near corner. 10 seconds on the shot clock. 3-pointer by Nixon, too strong. Rebound pulled down by Dickerson. 4 jerseys around him, and Dickerson still converts. 56-52. Amityville out in front, but a 2-on-1 fast break the other way as Amityville was caught sleeping. Bueller misses the shot. Now he tries again from the 3-point line. That doesn't go. Nixon fights for the rebound, and they're going to call a travel on Nixon. Good effort, but the Eagles will get the ball back. Amityville up by 4. 4:29 remaining in the game.
Going back to that last Amityville possession, they were playing great team ball, passing. Ooh, some shoving going on.
The officials talking it over. And we'll have to see. It doesn't look like they're going to call anything.
Bueller shoved What's going on? Let's see what's happening here. Thank you. So I don't know what happened, but I saw Bueller shove Nixon. I don't know if they were just talking or something happened, but I'm not quite sure what the call was. They're still talking it over.
Coach Price and Agostino out on the court as Coach Jim Jordan for the Eagles is pacing back and forth on the sideline talking to the officials. So it looks like they just asked both sides to calm down.
Yeah.
Nothing actually called as Bueller has it on the inbound, gets it over to Wilkinson, puts up the three-pointer. It's off the side rim, and Dotson Isabel smartly allows it to go out of bounds. 56-52, 4:23 remaining in the game. And Dotson Isabel will bring the ball up for the Tide. Isabel in between the circles, finds Dickerson. Dickerson, right wing, drives, double teamed in the paint, jump step, and Dickerson again. Eagles have no answer for him in the paint, and Amityville up by 6. Halfway through quarter number 4. Reisinger trying to get across midcourt. Nato helps him out, drives, left side, spins, kicks it into the near corner, but we get a whistle, and looks like they're gonna call a travel. And a timeout called by Jim Jordan, a smart timeout, as he senses this game getting away from his team a little bit, as Amityville right now in the midst of an 8-2 run, and they have rebuilt up their lead. It's 58-52, 3:49 remaining in the game.
I feel that Dickerson's starting to take over here.
And that's what you want to see, your best player stepping up when you're needed the most. And I still love the fact that Amityville has been able to rotate quite a bit of their bench in here, and everybody's contributed one way or the other, whether defensively on the glass or simply getting the right ball movement to try to get it in the hands of your best player. But Dickerson, he doesn't seem to care how many people are guarding him. I can't even count how many times he's driven into the paint with 4 blue jerseys surrounding him and getting the play done. You see the Eagles doing a good job of not fouling him, though. The last few possessions, Dickerson could have had opportunities for three-point plays. The Eagles backing off smartly because Dickerson has also been red hot from the free throw line today.
Yeah, and I was in the middle of saying before Bueller and Nixon got in that little tussle that the team ball that the Tide are playing right now is fantastic. They're passing, they're not really selfish play. They're looking for the extra pass to find the open player, and they're crashing the boards. So if, whenever there's a miss, they still retain possession.
29 points for Dickerson, 58 for the Tide as they have a 6-point lead, 3:40 to play. Dickerson now has it, looking for a cutting Alfred, spins, takes it himself, baseline, up underneath, tipped away, but a foul is called, and that will send Dickerson back to the free throw line as the foul is called on Aiden Todaro. And again, the Eagles just have no answer down low for what Dickerson has been bringing. One of the best players in Suffolk County. This is his senior season, and he wants to will his team to victory here today as the first free throw off the front of the rim, no good. First miss for Dickerson since early in the first quarter from the free throw line. Actually, he did miss early in the fourth quarter. And the second free throw is good. So as the Eagles fan faithful chants overrated, Dickerson gets his 30th point of the game, and Amityville is back up 59-52, 3.5 to play in the game. Reisinger drives in the lane off the glass and good, breaking the Amityville run. And Amityville will bring the ball up the court. It'll be Dotson Isabel, bottom of the circle, 59-54. Amityville in front. Nixon in the paint, tipped away from Dickerson, but Amityville still has it. Dotson Isabel makes a move, gets an open look, and gets the bounce.
That was a fantastic play by Dickerson to keep that ball alive. Flung it back all the way to Dotson Isabel, who was able to nail the shot.
61-54, 2:44 to go in the game as Wilkinson almost loses it. Wilkinson gets help from Nato, drives in the lane. Pretty play by John Nato, and the Eagles answer back.
Back and forth scoring right now.
61-56, 2:23 to go. And Dotson Isabel slowing down the tempo here. No reason to rush with a 5-point lead. Cutting in the paint. Here's Alfred up with the shot and good. So Alfred and the Tide respond to the Eagles, and the lead's back up to 7. Open look 3 from Todaro. Short. Rebound pulled down by Flythe. And again, Amityville will slow the tempo down. 63-56, under 2 to play. Dotson Isabel, left wing, throws a floater to Dickerson. The two of them play catch. Dotson Isabel to Nixon in the corner. Now they play catch. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Dickerson putting on some moves, drives right side in the paint, and he is grabbed by several blue jerseys as his teammates go to help him back onto his feet. And that will send Dickerson to the free throw line as Amityville is now in the bonus. 1:34 remaining. Amityville looking to add to their lead at 63-56. And Dickerson goes to the free throw line with 30 points already on his resume for the afternoon. Actually, for the morning. Still Saturday morning here. 11:24 a.m. on the Amityville Broadcasting Network as Dickerson converts on the first free throw. 8-point lead now for the Tide, and Dickerson looks to add another. And he hits on both. So Dickerson does his job. 9-point lead, 65-56. They're gonna call a reach-in foul on Dotson Isabel as he's chasing Reisinger around the backcourt, and AJ Price quickly out onto the court to have a word with Dotson Isabel. Dotson Isabel not happy with the call, but Price settling him down as Reisinger goes to the free throw line as now the Eagles are in the bonus. First free throw is good. So the Eagles not going away just yet as it's now 65-57, 90 seconds remaining, and Reisinger will have another freebie with the clock stopped. Reisinger converts on both, and we get a timeout. 65-58, 1:30 to go in the fourth quarter, and it is crunch time here. Amityville's going to try to run out some more of this clock, but it's at a point now where you expect the Eagles are going to have to start fouling if they want a chance to come back in this game.
I would imagine they're going to pass the ball around, get the ball in Dickerson's hands, and you know the Eagles are going to foul him. Send him to the line. As long as he makes his shots, they should be able to hang on.
So 22 points for Reisinger, 31 for Dickerson. And now we're going to check in with Melissa Santos, who's on the sideline.
Oh, I just want to highlight on today how it's a Saturday in the morning and AV is still giving them all energy, especially the crowd as well. Back to you.
65-58, 1:30 to go. It feels like the clock's been stuck at that point for the last couple of minutes here, but Amityville out on the court. Now the Eagles will join them for the Tide. It'll be Alfred, Dotson, Isabel, Mason back on the court, Dickerson, of course, and Flythe. As Amityville has the ball, and immediately Dotson Isabel swarmed by blue jerseys, and a foul is called. And I'm sure what Coach Jim Jordan discussed in the huddle was if you can't cause a turnover on the inbound, you're going to have to foul. A quick foul for the Eagles, only 3 seconds tick off the clock, but that will send Dotson Isabel to the charity stripe. And these are very important free throws here, as if Amityville can convert, they can put this game out of reach. Dotson Isabel hits the first, and that gives Amityville 66 to the Eagles 58 points. Eagles fan faithful here making some noise, but it doesn't bother Alan Dotson Isabel as he converts on both free throws. 67-58, 1:20 to go in the game. Driving is Reisinger, puts up the shot, no good. Smart play by the Tide, not to foul. Blythe has it, drives, bounce pass, intercepted by Reisinger. Reisinger pushing the tempo, driving hard back the other way. His shot too strong, and the rebound followed through by Todaro. Count it, and one. 1:04 remaining in the game. This one is not over yet. Amityville up 67-60, but Adam Todaro with a chance to complete the three-point play. Pinero comes back into the game as Reisinger will take what I can only assume to be a very quick breather. Blythe comes out of the game for Amityville. Nixon back in.
It's a big free throw. There's a big difference between a 6-point lead and a 7-point lead.
And the free throw is good, so it is a two-possession game, 67-61. Amityville has it. Figure the Eagles are going to look to foul. Dotson Isabel has it. Gets it over to Mason. No fouls yet, and now we get some pushing and shoving, and they're going to say, actually, it's, they're going to call a turnover, double dribble. So an ill-advised timed turnover for the Tide. Say that 5 times fast. 67-61, just under a minute to play in the game. Eagles have the ball. Reisinger back on the court after a really quick breather. And Todaro looks to inbound. Needs some help and finds it in Nadeau. 55 seconds left. Long three-pointer by Reisinger, air ball. And with the rebound is Alford. He gets it in the hands of the right guy, though, as Amir Dickerson grabs it and immediately is fouled. And that will put Amityville's best shooter on the free throw line. 46.9 seconds remaining, and Amityville can turn this into a 3-possession game.
Yeah, head coach for the Eagles, Jim Jordan, having a talk over there with Reisinger. I don't know if that was the designed play call for an almost half-court shot.
First free throw is good for Dickerson. I will say, though, if anybody's going to do it, you want your best player to try to take control of the game, as Reisinger's been doing the last few minutes, driving to the basket. But that one, even though it was a wide open look, that came up well short, found a lot of air on its way towards the basket.
Yeah, he took that about halfway between half court and the top of the key.
Dickerson converts on a pair, 69-61, 44 seconds remaining. Eagles are gonna have to hurry. Bueller has it, passes it in the corner of Wilkinson. Back to Bueller, Bueller with the three, no good. Rebound, Dickerson, will they foul? Shot clock is turned off, it looks like they won't. Dotson Isabel has it, floats a pass to his brother who's in the game now. Now Dotson Isabel to the near corner, and the Tide are just playing catch. And finally, Pinero able to commit a foul. 22.2 seconds left, and that will send Isaiah Nixon to the free throw line with a chance really to put this game away. Great passing by the Tide to keep that clock ticking and not allow the Eagles to commit the foul.
Yeah, very nice job letting that clock bleed out.
Nixon rims out on the first free throw. 3 members of the Tide are at midcourt trying to prevent any fast break opportunities. Pinero in the front court for the Eagles, hoping for an outlet pass off a missed shot. 22.2 seconds left. Nixon's second free throw finds the bottom of the net. 70-61. 9-point lead for Amityville. Here come the Eagles. 18 seconds left. Driving in the paint. Tipped away from Todaro. Amityville has it. Nixon driving the other way. That doesn't go. 10 seconds left. This one will end in favor of Amityville as Nadeau will put 2 more points on the board, and Amityville just lets the ball dribble out the clock. And that's where it's going to end here. Final score, Amityville on top, 70-63 over the Rocky Point Eagles. A very good and well-earned League 5 win for Amityville. So they get the job done on this Saturday morning, and get the league win. Amityville will improve to 6-5 overall and 6-2 in league play, that being the most important number. Meanwhile, the Eagles will fall to 4-7 and 2-4 in league play. Don't go anywhere because we still have to break this one down for you. It's the post-game show coming up next as Amityville comes away with the 70-63 victory over the Rocky Point Eagles. Post-game next on the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just...
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
I've always loved space and football. Growing up, some people told me I had to choose. But here's the deal. You can be great at more than one thing. And getting involved in STEM opens up your world to a universe of opportunities in life.
This is my time.
Get inspired and get involved today. There are STEM programs and science centers available in your community, so be sure to check out spaceforall.us to learn more and get started.
This is my time. There ain't no doubt in my mind.
Find your place in space.
This is my time.
Space for All.
Hi, this is Alan Hahn from ESPN Radio and MSG Network, and you're watching the Amityville Broadcasting Network.
And welcome back to the Fred Williams Memorial Gymnasium as the Amityville Tide come away with the 70-63 victory over the Rocky Point Eagles. Matt Grice and Catherine Martinez here with you on the post-game show. Let's get into this one right away. Early on in the first quarter, it was back and forth, but then it was Rocky Point that took charge.
Yeah, they got a 9-0 points of the score.
And that 9-0 run really set up Rocky Point to be in good position. We talked earlier about how in Mount Sinai's game back on Thursday, Amityville trailed for most of that game, which can be exhausting when you're constantly have to work from behind. And that's how things were at the end of the first quarter for Amityville as they found themselves trailing 23-16. But this game would be different, Catherine, as the second quarter belonged to Amityville.
Right, they got a 8-0 with scoring many points. And a 6-0 score as well in the second quarter.
And they were led by their best player the whole way, Amir Dickerson, 15 points in the first half. We'll give you his totals for the game in a moment, but at halftime, Amityville built a 38-32 lead. But in the third quarter, things got a lot more interesting as it was Rocky Point going on the run.
Right, they got a 6-0, and they kept going back, climbing back, going back and forth as well.
At the end of the third quarter, it was tied up 49-49, and we were wondering who was going to take charge, who was going to come through and want this game more. And the fourth quarter, it was all Amir Dickerson and the Amityville Tide as he really took charge for Amityville.
Yeah, it was such a good game. It kept going back and forth, where to the point where it kept getting tied every single time. And then Amir Dickerson kept going, trying to get the ball and try to shoot more points for the team.
31 points for Amir Dickerson on the day, assuming I have my notes right over here. But not only was he dominating, I think maybe the most important thing he was able to do was get to the free throw line and have success.
Right, every time he was at the free throw line, it would always be in, sometimes it would be out, but it was always 50% in and always striving to continue getting the Amityville on the lead.
And that really was probably the difference in this game, that Amir Dickerson was able to convert on his free throws for the most part. You know, those are free points that Amityville was able to take advantage of. And in the end, Amityville ends up getting the win 70-63. So Amityville improves to 6-2 in League 5. They are still chasing Mount Sinai, but there is a lot of basketball left to play. And that journey is going to start on Tuesday. As a student here in Amityville, what does the rivalry between Amityville and Wyandanch mean?
It means that now, as this game, let's say last year Amityville couldn't beat Rocky Point. Now they did this year. Now when they go on Wyandanch, they'll keep that same mentality. If they could beat one, if they couldn't do it last year, they 100% could do it this year, even though if it's a different team.
We expect a packed house here in the gym for Tuesday's contest. But Catherine, final thoughts for this one as Amityville gets their revenge after losing to Rocky Point at the end of last season with the 70-63 victory. What are your final thoughts on the game?
That it was a good game, that everyone in the team worked together. At the end, by like second quarter, they actually thought about what the game was going on. They realized that if they keep getting ties, they won't be able to move on like that. But then when they finally get into the game, communicate with their team, they start working together and communicating better.
So we will bring you Tuesday's contest against Wyandanch. That is our next broadcast here on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. Tip-off is at 4:30. Pre-game show is at 4:15. If you plan on coming, come early because it'll be a packed house. But for today, the Amityville Warriors get the 70-63 victory over the Rocky Point Eagles. For Catherine Martinez, I'm Matt Grice. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
This has been a presentation of Tide Sports on the Amityville Broadcasting Network. For more information and upcoming broadcasts, visit the Amityville Broadcasting Network YouTube page. And thanks for watching.